Yo, what up, Kang?
Yo, Seabear, what's up, man?
What you on, man?
I think we should get to work.
What you got in mind, man?
I think you know what we need to do.
Welcome to the Kang Seabear Show.
All right, this is take two. The
Take
first
two.
take I fucked up and forgot to record on Jackson's microphone, so I apologize about that.
You're fired. Also, the smell that just came out of your asshole, we needed another take.
I'm sorry. That blue door omelet just blew the door off my
Blew out your
sphincter.
I was pretty impressed, though.
Oh,
That was a ripe one.
it was pretty bad. Even I didn't like it, and usually you like your own brand.
You do, you got to give yourself a sniff. But that could have, dropped our whole production crew. Oh, wait. It's just you and me.
So I did drop the whole production crew.
Well, welcome back to the Kang and Seabear show.
Episode 3, Revenge of the Shit.
Again, I can't believe we've made it this far.
I am running on empty and not get a lot of sleep last night, but luckily we did have the first real breakfast in the last 7 days that I've been here, so that's nice. I feel full and ready
Yeah.
to take on the world.
We got our strength back finally. It's been pretty exhausting. We've been pushing ourselves every day,
Mhm.
12, 16 hours, and not sleeping much, obviously. So, what is this, day 8? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, so I think 7 or 8.
7 or 8? Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but we haven't stopped, which I like.
Mhm.
We got up early this morning. We had to hike through the woods, actually.
Got some really good shots though for music video.
Yeah, those shots were beautiful. We got there at the perfect time.
Nobody
No one
was there until like right before we were about to record, and then all of a sudden we hear,
Look at these beautiful rocks. With the camera? I'm
Get the
fucking
fuck outta
doing my
here.
fucking taxes. Like, so what? The obviousness of that question.
what are you guys taking pictures of? Scenery,
Yeah.
woods.
The things you can't see, lady. It's funny. Like, we've been running into that a lot since you've been here.
Every
which
time.
is nice. Like yesterday when we shot in the city, completely empty. Right up until we were finished. It's like all these people coming. It's like, oh, okay. Today at the park. And then we got at the restaurant, which the Blue Door is a very famous restaurant in Ohio, Cuyahoga Falls specifically. So Zach's here from Chicago, and I was like, you know what? We just got up at 5, 6, hiked through the woods. I'm gonna take you to this nice place. And typically you have to wait an hour or two, but
We got right in.
right in, man.
Treated like royalty.
Got to sit at the bar.
Shout out to Drew, our server.
Drew, he was on point, man, with the water. Yeah. You guys okay? I'm fucking great,
We're
Drew.
great, man. Where'd you get that water from?
The sink. That old lady at the drive-thru.
Oh, she was killing it.
I just had to give her a little.
How you doing?
How you doing?
She was doing some good work.
She was. All right. Well, should we tell them what we're talking about today? Finally.
Yeah, I think today's a good day to talk about just like the writing process in general, any kind of hurdles you face in that creative process.
Yeah. Well, I guess I could start.
Yeah, go
Because 2 nights ago, I don't know what happened, but kind of just hit a wall. I don't know if it was creatively, mentally, whatever, but I just couldn't see past my own self and my own frustrations. Maybe because I've been out of the writing process for this stuff so long, and I want to be doing it quicker, and I want it to be working for me. So I was like, fuck. Like, what is fucking happening right now? And obviously everyone understands what that's like, right? So at that point, you're right. You're like, just walk away, man. There's nothing you're gonna be able to do. It's just gonna get worse. So yeah. But that is the process. It's hard, and then it's good, and then it's hard until you're happy.
You got to know how much to push and when to let go.
Yeah. And accepting that sometimes it's better to write the simple things. They go much further than trying to make something complicated work. which I always do, and you know that.
It's part of your charm, though.
It is. And I will push myself to make it work, but sometimes it's like, you idiot, trying to say this like 20-letter word. It just doesn't work, which is something I'm trying to break away from. I mean, obviously, I started writing poetry first when I was younger. And I kind of developed my own style, and I've tried to bring it into hip hop or what we've done. And I realized, oh, this shit doesn't work this way.
Doesn't always translate.
Yeah. And again, being out of this so long, it's been very challenging this past week and a half trying to get over that hump. So it's been fun.
Very fun.
Very fun.
You were not having fun that night, though.
No, I had laser beam eyes,
I was trying to talk him down, and it just was not working.
which is so irresponsible, you know, because I'm usually pretty chill, but God, I was not doing well.
That's okay. You know, it happens.
Yeah.
Especially after 6 straight days of doing stuff. I mean, and I feel like I might have put a little too much pressure on you. I had been like, well, let's try and like knock out like
Oh, all
4
6.
songs in one day.
Yeah.
And so he's sitting there, going from one track to another, just trying to like refine these lyrics and, asking my opinions on all this stuff and how to make this flow right. And I'm kind of just sitting there doing jack shit.
No, you do a lot.
But I think it was a mixture of just like a little too much pressure on getting so much done, and then also just being like already so tired and needing a break to step back from the whole process.
Yeah. And even in the last episode, you start doubting yourself, start hating yourself, what you're writing, and you're just like, it all starts to like, when you look at it, jumble together. And it
Mhm.
really just spells out, you fucking idiot. You're like, ah.
It's like looking in a bowl of alphabets.
Yeah, with some Harry Potter shit, drinking the tea, seeing the message. But yeah, I'm feeling better today. I actually simplified some of my lyrics for some of the songs we're doing, and hopefully that works out today better. But you're right. Let's only do 2 songs.
Yeah,
today.
we need like 6 more to go over the next 3 days. If we can just knock out like 1 or 2 a day,
Yeah.
it'll be fine.
Yeah, and hey, who knows? Maybe we record these 2 in an hour. I'll move on to the other ones with you for sure.
Yeah.
Because we also, Zach and I are constantly having goofy thoughts that we always share with each other. And it always turns into, hey, we should make this, or hey, we should take this song and rewrite lyrics to it. That helps us in our writing process. Obviously, get away from what we're writing, but we got some little treats for you guys. That's all.
To be revealed when they're ready, when the time is right. To the window.
To the wall.
There's a little sneak preview for you.
Yeah.
First commercial break. Brought to you by Fitbits, the only treats that Fitz the dog will eat. He enjoys them toasted and welcome back.
I'm Fitz the dog.
We were talking about
the
creative,
things we're gonna show them soon.
yes, tidbits of weird ideas that just get thrown out there. I feel like especially in this scenario that we're in right now, allowing creativity to flow as it will. Yes, we are trying to focus on a couple big specific projects, to making the album and doing the video, the music video and all that. But at the same time, if an idea happens, I don't want to necessarily let it just go by the wayside. We want to maybe follow it and see where that leads. It could, who knows, it could add to what we're doing at the moment, or it could be something good for later. Like Jackson bringing up some ideas that he's had driving around at night, listening to music for some comedy, or like even today at breakfast, we basically wrote a soft open for a TV show that we're trying to develop too. And
Yeah.
it's just, these free flow ideas. I think it helps in one way to let yourself keep being fluid and allowing yourself to pull creativity from wherever it comes. But at the same time, it can also be in a way detrimental, where it's like, if you're trying to focus on one thing and that detracts you from that, like how far do you chase that rabbit before you come back to what you're doing?
Yeah.
It's hard to find a good balance sometimes.
Yeah. And I think most people understand artists. They're a little, we're loose in our mind. We're kind of all over, but you kind of have to develop the business side of it in a sense.
Mhm.
I mean, it's not the business side, but you're right. Like, you have to learn how to manage these ideas, your flow.
Yep.
And it's hard to focus, especially when you got minds working like ours. I think it's a lot more beneficial to have you around when we're going through all that,
Mhm.
because we can kind of those ideas seem to hit something that someone can respond to. So it's like, okay, cool, they're valid, or that's not going to work. So it really helps, when you're getting the brainstorming out, to have someone that understands. But yeah, managing your thoughts and your energies, it's hard.
Mhm.
It's all part of the process, but sometimes we run with it. And yeah, you're right, we get a lot of precious things that we can have and laugh at. They may not be good to anyone else or useful, but
Fuck it.
fuck it. And yeah, for anyone out there, and we're not talking about ourselves like we're the only ones who experience this. I mean, we have decided to follow our path of being artists, but I do believe every single person deals with this.
Yeah.
Driving in the car, sitting at home. So take advantage of those terrible thoughts sometimes, because sometimes they're really good, and it's your body saying there's more here. So take advantage of it.
Yeah. Write it down. Record a
100%.
voice memo.
Yeah. Sometimes just doing one part of the process it'll really inspire you
Mm-hmm.
and make you believe in yourself more. And I don't know. That's the beauty of it all. So
Careful.
I almost punched the dog with my elbow. Like Muay Thai. Ooh. Oh man.
Don't spook him any more than he already is.
Yeah, he was a little spooked today, but he's a good boy. Well, I've talked enough about my frustrations. Maybe if you've had any here, you want to share them.
I mean, I don't think I've necessarily had a whole lot of frustration other than I'll start from the beginning. I think me personally being here, I've had a good stroke of luck with creativity. Um,
A lot of good strokes since you've been
so many, too many. It's perverse.
here.
But I found myself this whole time being here not having a whole lot of trouble. I mean, you've seen it. Like, I'll make a loop for a beat and then write a verse to it in like an hour.
Yeah.
And it may not be the most profound, amazing thing ever written, but it's like it's something that I'm happy with,
Right.
which I think is more important than making something so amazing that it goes in the Bible or something.
Right.
Fuck that book, by the way.
Yeah, we're not very biblical on this side of the table, so
But I think it's helped because one, I'm in this situation where I'm not really being distracted by anything else.
right.
I usually have a lot of trouble. It takes me sometimes like days to write something. But right now, since I don't have to worry about going to work or doing chores, we're barely even going to the grocery store,
Yeah,
living on a diet of Takis and ramen.
it's a good time.
It allows me to just kind of like clear my head to think only about that. And then also the mixture of doing all this multimedia stuff. I've always found it's really great to find inspiration from different forms of art that aren't particularly like in your specific medium.
Right, in your wheelhouse.
Like, I'm definitely more musically inclined artistically, but like sitting there watching you do the video editing, or like learning how to set up the shots and following you doing that stuff, I think kind of makes something else in my brain click that also translates to that similar part of the brain.
Right.
Um, Other than that, though, I personally have had no frustrations, other than I think just like the normal level of frustration that comes with working with somebody else. Not that you're a bad creative partner in any way, but it's just, sometimes when you're working at different paces, it can be a little like, come on, let's keep going. But at the same time, I'm also like exhausted and don't want to keep going. But I'm like, I've got such a little amount of time here, so it's like I want to get as much done as we can. But
Think you're better than me?
so much better,
You fucker. No, I'm just kidding.
But no, it's like I
No,
feel
you've
like
been
that's
wonderful, man. There's no.
in any kind of creative setting with more than one person. There's gonna be some like, for lack of a better word, like artistic friction.
Yeah, of course.
But
Can't avoid that stuff.
it just happens. You can't keep the engine burning constantly.
No.
You gotta let it die for a little bit. Let everybody work at their own pace, and that's a good lesson for me because I don't really work with a lot of people most of the time. I'm usually a solo act, and that's it. So that's mostly what I've kind of picked up on about myself in this environment, and I think that's good. It's a good lesson to learn.
Yeah, that's something I noticed since you've been here. Been watching you work, watching your patients, your methodologies, and yeah, I'm glad you're here and you're able to be undisturbed.
Me too. Sorry, I needed a big drink of water.
Need that big old gulp.
That good Akron water.
Good Akron water.
Yeah, it's been really good. This is obviously something we've really wanted to do for a really long time, and it's good to be in a, what's the right word, like a comfortable creative space where we're not afraid to bounce ideas,
Right.
say whatever comes to mind. Usually it's something we both laugh at.
Yeah, we're always laughing constantly.
I have like 6-pack abs after this week.
Oh yeah. No workout required.
No, just that and ramen.
That and ramen. You get all your nutrients from ramen, you know?
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're chock full of sodium. That's it.
Which that's a fundamental thing you need for your brain to work. So
It is. And salt, it's so important. We don't have to talk about this, obviously, but the saying even, are you worth your salt? It's true. Salt was a hot commodity for a long time. That's where the term salary came from.
Really?
It did, yeah. They used to pay people in salt a salary, which I thought was really interesting. And actually, do you know, even 100 years ago, 200 years ago, I mean, we hear this a lot, like, we have too much sodium in our diets. It's bullshit, in my opinion. I think it's just artificial sodiums, perhaps, or whatever, but they say people even 100 years ago were eating like 4 times the amount of salt that we ever have.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I mean, that makes sense. Preservation was different for
Sure.
things, but I don't know, man.
It's all a conspiracy.
It is. We're all misled. We're all misled. But I don't want to go down that rabbit hole with these people just yet.
We're getting a little too opinionated on this thing.
Yeah. Clearly, I'm worth my salt. Yeah, no, it's been fun. I'm really glad we got to do this. I like that it's pulling things out of us and challenging us, but giving us a lot of good times. I needed that for sure lately.
Oh, same.
I needed a break from it all.
I've been very trapped inside of just like the daily routine of go to sleep, get up, go to work, go to sleep, get up, have a day off, but do nothing, and go
Yeah.
back to work.
Yeah.
And then nothing that I really want to do half the time gets done.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Some days I can't even play a video game.
Yeah.
Something as simple as sitting there and it's like I'll walk around for an hour. I'm like, just play the fucking game. But I can't, because we're so strung from everything. And it's just like, ugh.
It almost feels like if I'm doing that, I'm wasting my own time.
But see, yeah, now that we're in our 30s, those things hit you differently. Like, should I be sitting here? But then I got to remind myself, dude, you put yourself through college. You've worked your ass off to get to a place where you can comfortably sit down at the end of the day and play a game. So I'm trying to remind myself of that again. I remember being younger. I was like, I want a really good job. So when I go home, I don't have to worry about anything else but the video games I want to play.
Right.
And now that I have it, it's like, wait, what? But I guess that's all part of it. We have high expectations for ourselves, just humans in general, but I don't know. Sometimes you gotta let go of that shit. Sit there, play Red Dead 2 for 4 months straight. I started talking like Arthur from Red Dead. I couldn't help it. I was so obsessed. I was like walking around like, Dutch. Oh, Micah. Such a fantastic game. Just had to throw that in there.
Yeah, I haven't played too much of that one, if I'm being honest. I tend to get way too lost in those like hugely vast open world games.
Yeah.
Especially like something like that or Skyrim, which I got really into that like during the pandemic, which I know you're a huge fan.
Too much.
But it's like I'd get lost being like I'm on this main quest, and then all of a sudden some guy comes up, he's like, "Hey, you help me find my dog?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Absolutely,
Oh,
I will
fuck
do
yeah.
that for 5 hours."
3-5 hours later, you're like,
And in the middle of that, I find some like weird herb where it's like, "Oh, if you find 100 more of these, you get a special potion." And I'm like, "Okay."
oh yeah. The quests get long. They stack.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, and like for those two specifically, even like you watch videos about how there's still shit in Red Dead that people are finding like it's what, almost 10 years old?
I think so. I think it's been out for maybe 8, 10
Still,
years.
like,
yeah,
and people are still discovering new things in that game. That's fucking crazy.
that is. Yeah. Which even, I think taking time to play that so much, I think it was about 6 months ago I really got into it. Again, I mean, I thought I was wasting time, but I actually took a lot from that experience. One, I was like, wow, this team at Rockstar just really came together as creators and fucking made this masterpiece. You can't deny it. I don't care if you're like a 60-year-old woman. If you had the chance to play that, you'd be like, fucking yeehaw! Like, it just changes you. But like, I guess I've been trying to do that more for my own process. It's like, you know what? The things that require little energy, watching a film, listening to music, playing a video game, or just look at them differently. Maybe don't watch the movie. Maybe educate yourself in why you think it worked. Or look at it as like, all right, maybe it was slow, but damn, the writing was fantastic. And how can I work better to tell a better story?
Right.
Because now I want to be more of a storyteller. And that's what we're doing. Because I'll hit on this briefly, but I wasn't really ever telling a story in our other songs. I mean, we had themes.
We were like playing characters.
Yeah, and I was just a lot of times freestyling and really not doing something cohesive, which again, I think that's why I'm running into a wall the other day, because it was out of my spectrum or out of my scope. So,
well, especially with the like, because you were saying you were even having troubles freestyling half the time, which is something you were always really good at. But I think it's a lot of people don't realize that those parts of your brain will atrophy the same as any muscle in your body if you don't exercise it regularly.
Yeah, and it's been fucking years. Like, so I shouldn't be so upset or feel bad. It just sucks when you lose a part of yourself. You have to get back. So
it's like I can see it's still there, but it's just it needs to be worked out a little bit more.
Yeah. I need to get in the shower, turn on some Tech 9 or something. Something like that. And it's funny. I think about it too. Even at that time, I think I was good at it because I was constantly being fed information from class and college.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, obviously I had a lot more energy, but everything was so fresh. And I remember all that stuff I was learning, so I could pull from it. And since I've been at my career so long, it's always the same shit. Everything becomes jargon. You're unless you're doing extracurricular, which I do, I'm pretty busy most of the time, but I've just been working so much. I realized even this past year, like, just kind of robotic about it now. Even the creative stuff I do outside of work, I mean, it's just business, and it's like getting back to all this was really nice because this isn't business. This is just a creative session, and what's coming out of it is fucking sweet. So I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I think it's something to be proud of.
100%.
At least what we've got so far. Who knows? We could fuck it up royally towards the end. But I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think so. Especially after today and yesterday. I
Oh.
think the footage we got,
Yeah, that makes me just, even if it's just like we get that and it looks good and sounds good, because the song for that
oh, dude,
sounds so great.
it
and
does.
It's going to be really cool. And I'm just like, very proud of that.
Me too.
And
And
what
the
it's going to
message
look like.
behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fun. Or Zach and I have taken I say a lot of time, but him and we just work quick. But we came up with the concept for this video pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And now like to be executing it, getting what we want with actually a little effort. Like the compositions are easy. I think the hardest part is just walking around.
Yeah, carrying all that
cameras.
shit and like the big
This
box
morning.
of stuff.
I had to take my shirt off out in the forest.
He was like about to pass out.
Yeah, that was a stupid move. I woke up immediately at 6 and started chugging passion fruit nectar. And then we get out to the woods and I'm like, Zach, I don't feel too good, man.
Here, have some water, eat some Takis.
I'm drinking it out of your cap. You're like, what are you doing? I remember Bear Grylls said, if you're ever really dehydrated, don't chug water or you'll get sick, So I didn't want to get sick. Shout out to Bear Grylls.
What is that guy doing these days? Is he still doing
He
shows?
is, yeah. I saw him on Hot Ones, actually.
Really?
And he really charismatic, down to earth. It was good to see that side of him. I've always loved Man vs. Wild.
Oh, yeah.
How could you not? That guy's awesome. But he has a new show or something. I think it moved to another program.
Makes sense.
But I know he's pretty active in education and like survival stuff. So that guy's he used to be a paratrooper.
Yeah, for the,
And, like, the
British
Royal-
Navy or something.
Yeah, and those guys. Well, here's a funny story. Do you mind if I tell this one? Most people don't know this about me.
Go for it.
When I left high school, I was going to join the Air Force. So I took a year and a half. Dude, I never worked out this hard in my life. I was swimming like 50 laps a day, getting up at 4, running like 5 miles in the desert
Damn.
with a weighted backpack. I'd go to the gym for 2 hours because I wanted to be a paratrooper. And I got pretty big. I was in really good shape. But I was
pictures from this time.
I do, yeah.
I need to see this.
We'll have to pop them up. But and I'm not bragging. I was like, wow, you are achieving something you want to do here. But at the same time, I was also playing music. I was playing the drums a lot, and I love that, of course. And I was working at the nuclear power plant, but that was still the goal. So I got all big, and I took the paratrooper physical exam, which it was pretty hard.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Oh, it sucked, but I passed. And then I took my ASVAB, or sorry, it was the other way around. But I remember leaving the power plant, and the sergeant, my draft sergeant or whatever, she calls me and she's like, well, it looks like everything's ready to go. If you want to come down today, you can sign off and we'll send you to boot camp next month. And I immediately was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And her name, I'm not kidding. Her name was Sergeant Ferrari. It fit. She was beautiful. And
Sounds like just a bad character from Fast and Furious.
But yeah, it's just like, I was like, what? But I remember she was like, are you fucking kidding me? She's like, after all this, you're just going to say you don't want to do this? And I was like, yeah. And I just hung up the phone. And I'm glad I did that. Because who knows what would have happened, but I don't know. I went full force into music, and it led me to college, which led me to meeting you and all these other people in my life that mattered so much and gave me all this today, which is really what I wanted. But, again, I used to question that, but now I'm kind of just like, this was meant to be.
Mhm.
This is who you are. I really am not a army kind of person or military mind, so I don't know. It's just funny that shit happened like that.
Yeah, I honestly would have never pegged you for that.
Yeah, I know, right? I'll have to show you. Oh, dude, that was pretty big. It was funny.
We're gonna put up a picture of that on the show here.
Yeah, we'll put it up. My head was still
Like a peanut.
cashews, whatever.
Now it's just not making sense in here.
Yeah. We'll have to put that song out for people. But yeah.
It's been a long road getting here.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm just gonna say this, but this is a looser podcast we're doing today.
Definitely.
I think the exhaustion is driving it. It's
It really
a little
is.
sloppy. We don't really care. We just needed to sit down and talk it out, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I apologize to you and to the listeners about me not having like any energy right now.
No, it's okay. We
I'm
gotta.
just I'm like slurring my words.
You're just holding in that fart.
Trying everything I can. I can feel it burning up inside right now.
That was so delicious.
That food? Oh, it was
dude.
really good.
That your omelet was good. My bacon was like a foot long.
This place gave him like 4 pieces of bacon that were like
Oh,
2 inches thick.
Yeah. The eggs, dude. Oh. Pillows.
Nice and fluffy.
That bread I did not like.
Yeah, you seem to be kind of forcing that down.
Multi-grain bread is to me is I don't like it.
Yeah.
It tastes like crap.
What kind of
actually
place
not
doesn't
that
have
good
rye
for you.
bread?
And they don't have rye bread. Yeah. Usually people are like, ew, you like rye bread? I'm like,
Love rye
you
bread.
lick assholes. Like, what's the difference? Okay.
Yeah. Do we know where we're gonna go from here?
Oh my gosh. You know what? We might keep hitting pauses and people might have already turned it off. Either way, if you stayed this long, we're going to come back at you next week.
If you stayed this long, you win a free copy of our album when it
Yes.
drops.
Yes, there you go.
Just send us-
Consolation prize at the end.
Send us an email to suckmyass@gmail.com.
Some guy's going to be like, what the fuck? Or some woman. I don't know, okay?
Hey.
Well, this was the Exhaustion Podcast, episode 3
Exhaust cast.
of the Kang and Seabear show. But again, we're coming back next week. We're going to be refreshed, refined, 2 diamonds in the rough,
Crawling out of the mine.
and we'll present some stuff. I think we should hit a game next week, perhaps.
Yeah.
It's your turn this time
Oh, God.
to face that sheer crushing weight. So, yeah. Forgive me on the freestyle, guys. I am actually good at it. I'll tell myself. I'm good. It's a
And that
skill.
one was not bad.
It was all right. Could have been better. Now I'm just starting to pull from nostalgia. I can tell. I'm like Rocky. I loved Rocky when I was a kid. Like, oh yeah, oh shit. So, but all right, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. See you next time.
Signing off.